You are not just a body. You are not the recycled stories playing on a loop inside your head. You are frequency. You are vibration. You are living energy, breathing, pulsing, constantly sending signals out into the universe. And the universe always answers through the very signal you transmit. For so long, you were taught to believe that everything happening to you was random, that you are a small, powerless victim in a cold, indifferent cosmos. But the truth was never that. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not small. You are an inseparable part of the universal energy field, where anything can be summoned or repelled by a single thought held in your mind. Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Not logic, not fear, not external facts, but your inner frequency. That is the dial of reality. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. What you feel, what you think, what you believe. That is the broadcast you send. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It doesn't judge right or wrong. It only responds to your actual frequency. Behind your words, behind your smile, behind every mask you wear. Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same stories, the same wounds, the same limitations? It's not destiny, it's frequency. An old song, still playing unconsciously in the background. Frequency doesn't live in your prayers, it lives in your most repeated emotional state. Every single day, worry has a frequency, gratitude has a frequency, insecurity has a frequency, so does trust. Every time you think you're not enough, you tune yourself to a channel where the good can't find you. Not because you don't deserve it, but because you're simply not on the same wave. Just like you can't catch your favorite jazz song on a morning news frequency, you can't receive love, freedom, or peace when you're still vibrating at the level of fear, lack, and limitation. Bruce Lipton proved this through quantum biology. Your cells don't respond to the real world. They respond to your perception of the world, which means you don't live in reality. You live in your interpretation of it. And if you shift that perception, if you change the emotion, if you rewire the belief, your body changes, your energy field shifts, and everything begins to change. Not from the outside in, but from the magnetic field within you, the one no one can see, but everything responds to. You are not bound by your circumstances. Your circumstances are bound by your state of being. Here's the truth. You don't have to chase what you desire. You only have to become the version of yourself that aligns with it. If you want to attract true love, you don't need to search for that person. You need to become the version of you that loves yourself deeply, lives with presence, and releases the old limits. And that person on the matching frequency will be drawn to you like gravity, like law. Neville Goddard called it the law of assumption. Assume the wish fulfilled. Live as though it's already real. Not because you're tricking the universe, but because you're syncing yourself to the reality you long for. You're not asking anymore. You're becoming. And when you become, you cannot help but attract. You don't have to force, you just align. You don't have to chase, you rise. Because when you raise your vibration, you don't just rise within yourself. You shift the entire field around you, as if the veil that once kept your world dim begins to lift, revealing a parallel reality you always deserved, but never unlocked. And that door has always been you. And the moment you realize that you are the doorway, all waiting becomes meaningless. You're no longer standing outside, knocking on a reality that won't open. You become the key. You become the path. You become the energy you once prayed to be gifted. From that moment on, you stop asking, "How do I get what I want?" And you begin asking, "Who must I become so that what I seek has no choice but to find me?" Everything you've ever desired already exists on a higher frequency. A frequency where you no longer repeat the old story. A frequency where you no longer identify with wounds, rejection, or inherited limits. A frequency where you stop asking, "Is it real?" and instead declare, "If I can feel it, it means I can reach it." Your mind is the control panel of your vibration. Every thought is a frequency, every emotion, a signal. And if you don't master your thoughts, they'll command the entire wave you broadcast. Abraham Hicks once said, "Everything you want is already created. The only question is, are you in sync with it?" It's not that you lack what you desire, you're just tuned to a different band. Like Wi-Fi signals, always present. But if your device isn't properly connected, you can't access it. Not because the signal isn't there, but because you haven't calibrated yourself to receive it. In the same way, love, healing, opportunities, miracles are always there. But you must slow down, tune in, become consistent. You can't live one day in faith and 3 in fear and expect a higher reality to arrive. Energy doesn't respond to what you say you believe. It responds to what you truly believe, deep down, even if you're afraid to admit it. And that's why you must become radically honest with yourself. Not the kind of bravery that faces the world, but the kind that faces the quiet voice in your mind, the one you often silence with busyness, with roles you play, with a smile that isn't real. That voice knows what frequency you're on. It knows what reality you're choosing. And if you become still enough to listen, it will guide you back to yourself. Eckhart Tolle called it presence. Presence is not escaping the future or the past. It's returning to your true power, this moment where you have the authority to choose again. When you become present, you stop reacting. You begin creating. You're no longer a product of the world around you. You become the force that reshapes it from within. Greg Braden called it the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern awakening. When your heart and mind beat in coherence, you enter a state of superconnection, where prayer is no longer a plea, but a full-bodied vibration of gratitude, faith, and certainty. And gratitude isn't a spiritual ritual. It's the fastest known tool to shift frequency. You don't wait for the good to arrive, then be grateful. You feel gratitude first, so that the good is magnetized toward you. Because gratitude carries the vibration of already received, and the universe knows only how to respond. When you live as if you already have it, you generate a frequency that reality cannot ignore. Just like when you walk with certainty, the path forms beneath your feet. Ram Dass once said, "Be here now, not to abandon your dreams, but because your power to create lives in this very moment." You don't change your reality by thinking about it over and over. You change it by becoming someone else right now. And that change doesn't need to wait for tomorrow. It begins the moment you choose not to live another day repeating yesterday. You were not born to repeat. You were born to remember. To remember that you are the energy creating each moment. You are not merely observing reality. You are shaping it. Every emotion, every choice, every breath is a brushstroke painting the timeline you're stepping into. And in every moment, the universe is waiting for you to choose. Will you keep aligning with the old fear, or will you recalibrate to a new vibration? Transformation doesn't begin with an outer victory. It begins within. The moment you stop rejecting yourself, the moment you have the courage to face your fear, not to run from it, but to hold it, to bring it back into the light. That's when your frequency begins to shift. That's when you stop sending out the signal of someone searching. You begin to radiate the signal of someone who's already found themselves. David R. Hawkins once said, "Consciousness is a map. Each level holds a vibration, a reality, a lens. You can't step into the frequency of abundance if you're still seeing the world through the lens of lack. You can't live in peace if you're still driven by wounds that haven't healed. And that's when you must turn inward, not to escape the world, but to reset your original vibration. Beneath all the roles, all the defenses, all the inherited voices, there still exists a pure version of you, unbound, unwounded, unafraid, just light, just the original frequency, directly linked to the field of universal consciousness. And you can return to that frequency at any moment. All it takes is stopping. All it takes is refusing to keep saying "I am" to things that are no longer true. I am a victim. I am not enough. I am abandoned. I am unlucky. You are none of those things. You've just grown used to broadcasting those signals for so long. You mistook them for truth. Awakening is when you realize you can change the signal. You can change the frequency. You can change your reality, not by running out there, but by choosing yourself in here. Dolores Cannon guided thousands through past life regressions, and what she discovered was profound. No one is truly stuck. No one is truly lost. We're just replaying lessons left unfinished until finally, we remember who we are. And when you remember, you begin to shine, not to be seen by others, but to finally see yourself again. From that point on, you no longer act from fear of loss. You act from clear intuition, a wisdom that flows from a higher plane of consciousness. It's no longer about forcing plans. It's about co-creating with the universe. You stop trying to control every detail. You listen, and you follow the inspiration. Inspiration is an impulse. Inspiration is guidance from a higher wavelength, from the place your soul already knows the way. Sadhguru calls this superconscious intelligence, the place where you no longer need to prove anything. You become attuned to life itself, like a seed that knows when to break open without fearing the winter. Faith at that point is no longer effort. Faith becomes natural, because you know everything is happening for you, not against you. You stop bracing yourself to survive, and you begin to flow with life. And it is in that moment that everything you once thought was hard begins to unfold with grace, not because the world changed, but because you stopped standing in your own way. True transformation isn't a loud revolution. It's a quiet metamorphosis, unfolding in the smallest choices you make each day. Choosing to love yourself instead of judge. Choosing to listen instead of react. Choosing to move forward, even with fear still in your heart. That is true resilience. Not that you never fall, but that you rise again with an open heart, even when the world once closed you down. That you still believe, still dream, still love, even when the past tried to break you. Bruce Lipton once said, "You are not a victim of your genes or your environment. You are the master of your biology." Your body listens to every emotional signal. Each thought becomes a chemical reaction, and every belief, invisible as it may seem, becomes the code that writes your reality. So when you begin to live with gratitude, not just as a habit, but as a state of being, you are reprogramming your entire existence. Gratitude doesn't need a reason. Gratitude is a decision. I will not wait for the miracle. I will become the miracle first. Grateful just to be alive. Grateful for one more day to rewrite the story. And when you live in deep gratitude, your frequency shifts instantly. You stop broadcasting scarcity. You begin radiating wholeness, and the universe cannot resist that vibration. What once felt like you had to chase endlessly starts moving toward you, not because you chased it, but because you became the one who matches it. But this path is never a straight line. It's a spiral. Sometimes it feels like you're moving backward, but you're only winding up for a greater leap. Don't fear when it feels like everything is falling apart. It might just be the old foundation crumbling, so you can build something stronger. True adaptability doesn't mean changing to please others. It means staying fluid without losing your essence. It's learning how to dissolve without disappearing, like water, shapeless, yet able to hold all form. And the strongest ones aren't those who are always okay. They are the ones who can hold space for their not okayness without shame. Because the cracks, they are where the light gets in. The moments you thought were your weakest were the ones where you became most real. The moments you stopped trying to be someone else were when you returned to the most sacred version of yourself. Osho once said, "You don't have to be somebody, just be yourself. And that is more than enough." That is true growth, not adding more, but peeling away the layers to reveal the light that was always there, not becoming superhuman, but becoming someone who can look straight into the darkness and still choose light, not outpacing others, but becoming the deepest, most awakened version of who you are. You don't need to run faster than anyone. You just need to move in the right direction, the direction back to yourself. Every step, every breath, every moment of presence is restoring your connection with the universe. You're not walking alone. Every time you choose love, you are lifting the vibration of the collective. Every time you choose forgiveness, you are releasing karmic weight, not just for you, but for generations. Every time you choose awakening, you become a lighthouse in a stormy sea, and you don't need anyone's permission to be that light. No certificate, no title, no approval, just your choice to believe, to live true, to come home to you. It's time you remember, you didn't come here to live an ordinary life. You came to reignite the light within, to unlock the door of vibration, to become the heartbeat of the universe in human form. No more hiding, no more doubting, no more delaying, because the truth is, you have always been worthy. Not when you become more perfect, not when you have more, not when others finally recognize you, but right now, in this body, with this heart, and this vibrating frequency, you are already worthy. Worthy of love, worthy of abundance, worthy of freedom, worthy of light. You are a symphony the universe composed with intention. Not too much, not too little. Every pain you've moved through, every dream you've held on to, every moment you didn't give up is proof you were never alone. Every cell in your being is singing the song of the stars. Every positive thought you hold ripples into the field of energy. Every loving action is rewriting the future in real time. And if you listen deeply, you will hear the call, not from the world outside, but from your own soul. Remember, awaken, choose yourself again, and you'll know nothing is lost, nothing is too late, nothing is beyond reach. There is only you, and the energy you choose to carry, only you, and the reality you choose to resonate with. Only you, and the frequency you choose to become. You are the wave, you are the rhythm, you are the creator of every vibration you step into. And if you wish to attract what you truly deserve, don't chase it out there. Become it, resonate with it, emit the signal that matches it. And then, the universe will have no choice but to respond, because that's the law, not a man-made law, but the law of life, the law of energy, the law of creation. You hold the key. You have always held the key, and the door has always been open. All that's left is for you to walk through it with a heart on fire, with a frequency of clarity, with the fullness of your presence. And in that moment, you won't just raise your own vibration, you'll lift the frequency of the entire world, because one awakened soul is a universe set free.